Hey everyone, welcome to another recap of The Wrath of Zheles. This will actually be the last recap before I publish all of our other episodes onto our podcast platform that you can find on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon, all the major platforms. That way you can listen to us outside of our YouTube videos and our Twitch streams. If you are enjoying our videos, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, comment down below what your favorite moment is in this recap. We're still a really small channel, so growth is really important to us, and we're happy to have all of you along for the ride. But with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's get started on this recap that covers episodes 11 to 20 of The Wrath of Zheles. As Arsinoe and Sarnoran rushed through the city streets, fleeing their sun-touched pursuers, Cheryl, now a prisoner of Inniset Tower once again, was taken back to his cell along with the bodies of Valafar and Taffy. For all their planning, it had all gone wrong, and for the two outside the tower, this hardly seemed worth the unconscious tiefling that they managed to escape with. Via some clever navigation of the moonlit streets, Sarnoran and Arsinoe did manage to find their way back to the hideout of the Order of the Pin, but unknown to them, a shadowy figure lurked just around the corner and had tracked them to the hidden lair. Unam's excitement at the sight of Thiel's rescue was lost on the two weary adventurers, who were absolutely sure that their companions had perished. They pressured him for more information about why this mission was so important, why it was worth the deaths of their friends. It was then that Unam explained that his master Esaf had made him aware of very little. Thiel, however, now having regained consciousness, was more knowledgeable on the matter. Hesitantly, and with Sarnoran's blade at her throat, she finally divulged that she was the daughter of Iamos, the man who was slain 30 years ago, the man called Prophet by the people of Zheles. By her own understanding, Esaf believed that her lineage could serve as a way to dethrone the current mad ruler of Zheles, in a first step towards peace between them and Imsford. At that very moment, Arsinoe heard mumbled speaking coming from a two-way messaging magic item in her pack, the other of which Valafar had in his possession when he was killed. Cheryl, still locked away in his cell, was in the middle of a conversation with Inniset's court wizard, Elwind, the very same wizard that was responsible for the deaths of Valafar and Taffy. Demonstrating his willingness to go to any lengths in the pursuit of his goals, Elwind killed the spy that helped Arsinoe and the others earlier in the tower. But just as he was about to extend the same hospitality to Cheryl, another figure entered the prison. King Gravant himself ordered Elwind to stop what he was doing and to step out of the cell, wishing to conduct the questioning of the prisoner himself. After a more diplomatic line of questioning, Gravant made Cheryl an offer. In exchange for the information he sought, the king was willing to bring Taffy back to life. Though Cheryl pleaded for Valafar to be brought back as well, Gravant was steadfast in his position that the tiefling would remain as he was. Cheryl reluctantly agreed, and Elwyn reluctantly, upon the order of his king, brought back to life the tiny gnome sorcerer. Freed from the bonds of death, but still imprisoned by the king of Inniset, Taffy felt her lungs fill with air, but the relief was short-lived as she was thrown into a cell herself. As was part of the deal, her and Cheryl would remain there until the Order of the Pen was found and dealt with. Of course, unknown to the Sun-Touched, Arsinoe, Sarnoran, and the others had been listening in to all of this. Made aware that they would soon be found out, the Order of the Pen rushed to flee their hideout. With no small amount of hesitation, Sarnoran and Arsinoe decided to release Thiel to Unam and the others while they would instead stay behind for their friends Cheryl and Taffy. As men and women in the Order hurriedly prepared their small vessel for sailing away, Arsinoe and Sarnoran decided to leave the hideout as well. But one more surprise awaited them outside. Upon leaving the cave, Arsinoe and Sarnoran were greeted by Rin, a half-elven rogue that was in pursuit of Thiel as well, though for different reasons. After briefly filling him in on the situation, Rin left along with Arsinoe and Sarnorin back to their room at the Blue Shoe Inn. Not long after arriving there, the three of them were surprised to see Taffy and Cheryl stumble through the door. With the help of Nyx, the warlock they'd befriended in the prison, and Taffy's wand of invisibility, they were able to escape as well, though they were worried that they may have been followed there. At the behest of their new mysterious acquaintance Rin, all five decided it would be best to leave the room they had for a different place of lodging. Together they were able to sneak into Rin's room at the Cerulean Pier Inn and Resort without being followed by the Sun-Touched patrolling the city. There, they came to terms with the reality that their friend Valafar was gone. Without much time to grieve, the group set out the following morning to travel north in search of more answers about the age-old conflict in the prophecy that caused them so much sorrow. Interested in garnering help to find a hidden place called Mistkeep, Rin agreed to tag along with them if they helped him in return. But the reprieve from an eventful evening was short-lived. As they traveled towards Taffy's hometown of Moonbright, just north of Inisset, a great quake shook loose the ground before them and exposed a massive chasm that had never been there before. Yet they continued their course and traveled through a series of tunnels of disturbed earth as a result. It seemed as though an entire network of these tunnels had been constructed by kobolds and subsequently destroyed by whatever event had occurred. But kobolds were not the only creatures dwelling beneath the rocky surface anymore. The party fought through land sharks, a monster made of rock itself, and finally, a blue dragon. The dragon was referred to by the kobolds as the Great Liberator, and had taken prisoner Taffy's younger sister, as they blamed the gnomish village for the cave-in the adventurers had witnessed. But with great and heroic efforts, the party was able to save Taffy's sister and force the young blue dragon to flee his home. However, their hard work was far from done. Upon arriving in Moonbright, it was starkly evident how much damage had been done to the village by the dragon and its kobold army. Sarnorin and Cheryl sprung into action to help the injured while the others spent a day helping repair some of the damaged structures in town. Between all the chaos of assisting the village, Taffy was able to speak to the Elder about her bracer and its connection to the devil Mammon. By strengthening her bonds to the Fae, Taffy and the Elder embedded a greenish crystal into her arcane focus. The Elder warned Taffy that the evil still existed in her magical item, but that it was weakened by what they were able to accomplish. Though the party hoped to give more aid to the village, they were only able to stay the night before setting out further north. Sharing their destination with the Elder for advice, he revealed that Mount Vernrim was a cold and desolate place where nothing could survive, a common opinion that they would find shared among all others they asked afterwards. Still, with a heart full of determination, they carried themselves across the border into the snowy mountain country of Oscana and the town of Emil. The five of them found a place to stay and a bite to eat at a meal and a bed, the local inn and tavern. While sitting at a bar, they were made aware by a local that orc raids had become more frequent lately, and that the roads north weren't very safe. Given this new information, they decided to take a guided tour of a nearby mountain pass. As a less frequent way of travel north towards their destination, they were hopeful that it would be safer than the roads. Yet, partway through their journey, they were attacked. The orcs they fought didn't prove much of a challenge for the party, but they were surprised to find a drow magic user fighting among them. Upon dealing with the threat, the party continued on undeterred, but not before Sarnorin raised an orc and the drow with his necromantic abilities. After several days of travel further north, and some clever avoidance of an orc scouting party, the group arrived at the mountain fortress called the Quarry. It was there that they met Ashar, a half-orc paladin with pale white skin, who served alongside other warriors there, tasked with protecting Oscana from the evils of the Underdark, specifically the Drow. Upon explaining their case to Ashar, he introduced them to Relivir, the snow elf commander of the Quarry. Relivir was firmly against allowing them through the tunnels north, as they would surely die, until he offered them a chance to prove themselves. Relivir promised to allow the adventurers to continue north through the Underdark if they could survive in combat along with Ashar against some of the monsters the Quarry had captured. The heroes agreed, But the battle was not all that it seemed. Ishar and the others had quite a challenge ahead of them and narrowly made it through alive. It was then that Ishar exposed Relevir's plot to have him killed in battle along with the party, who the commander had correctly identified as the fugitives from Inaset. With years of service and respect behind him, Ishar was made the impromptu commander of the quarry, and Relevir was banished to wander the Underdark. After a single night of good rest, the party thanked their new friend and began their journey underground, away from the light of the sun and the newly won safety inside the quarry's walls. The group of heroes spent several days traveling underground and fighting off a variety of enemies, including more drow, a cloaker, and a dryad, until finally arriving at the very place Ishar and the others warned them of. As if a fable taking form before their very eyes, jagged spires of rock rested upon a sea of violet fog that illuminated the cavern walls surrounding them. The 5 adventurers looked on in amazement and concern at their only way forward, the shadowed city of Nai Sarin. Hey again, hope you enjoyed that recap of our campaign. If you'd like to see more, we have all of our episodes published here on YouTube, and we stream every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time on Twitch. You should be able to find the link below somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where, but it's down there, trust me. Like I said at the start of the video, if you're enjoying our content, please don't forget to subscribe or like the video, comment below, all the good stuff. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.